And this problem, guys, is with the cock sauce.
Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. Hello, everyone.
Hey, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of the SaVeg podcast.
Welcome back, guys. We've touched down and we're back in
We've touched down.
in YYC.
We were in Houston.
Houston?
Oh, stop it, Daniel.
Rose is going to kill me because like all throughout the entire trip, I'd always just be like, Rose, Houston, we have a problem. Because it's like a thing, you know? I feel like...
You know, it was funny the first 5 times you said it, Daniel. Not so funny after the first time, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we were just there visiting one of our very good friends, Angela.
Yep.
And we had a great time.
It was good. The food was actually really good.
The food was very good.
Yeah.
Although there weren't that many vegan places, but everything, we were only there for 3 days.
Yeah.
So everything we ate was quite good. We spent a lot of time by the pool. Mm-hmm. Got some tan going.
I mean, you did.
Somebody got burnt like a motherfucker.
I got sober, guys.
Like a white boy that you is.
God damn.
Did you put some aloe on last night?
I did. I put some on this morning as well.
Good. Anyways.
Gotta protect that porcelain skin. But yeah, we actually went to a couple good restaurants. One of them was like a Mexican restaurant, kind of like a...
Yeah, that one was called Vigos,
I think. That was really good. It was
a fully plant-based Mexican restaurant. Mm-hmm. That was so good.
It was delicious, but it was very heavy.
Very heavy. I mean, it's like Mexican food.
Yeah.
I find Mexican food is kind of like a little bit heavy.
Yeah.
But it was very good. And then we went to Chef Kenny's.
And that was so
Which
good.
was like an Asian kind of like Chinese / sushi vegan place. Yeah.
They had all kinds of stuff. Because they had Korean food there too. Did
they?
Yeah. They had like... No.
But that was really good. Somebody recommended it.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else did we eat? Oh, we went to...
Sinful Bakery. Again, all vegan bakery. Yeah. Really nice.
And what was that first place that we went to? That first restaurant?
What was the first one?
The one near Angela's place.
Oh, oh my God, what was it called?
Oh my God, I don't remember.
It was highly recommended too.
It was really good too. Let me find
Soulful?
it.
No.
No. That's the bakery.
Sinful is the bakery, not Soulful.
Sinful is the bakery, yes.
It was...
Let me find it.
Oh, God damn. You got it on your Instagram?
I think I should. I got it in my highlights. Ginger Mule. The Ginger Mule. That one was really good too.
Yeah.
A little bit on the pricey side.
Bit expensive.
Well, everything was kind of expensive.
Yeah, I was surprised because I always thought that like going out to eat in the States is like generally cheaper, even after you convert.
Not cheap.
No, and I think it's because like everything was like on par, but in USD. So,
yeah, it was like basically the same price, but in US dollars.
Yeah.
So actually, it's about 30% more for us as Canadians.
Yeah, and then also, guys, something you need to watch out for when you travel because it is sneaky as hell. But we noticed that a lot of the bars, I noticed. You noticed.
Thank you.
Rose noticed.
We went bar hopping.
We went bar hopping, and a lot of the bars, they have like an auto gratuity in there.
Well, and also, first of all, the U.S. guys, Americans, love you all. But why is your banking system 15 years behind?
Oh my God, it's so weird.
Because every other place, you just tap it or you add gratuity in the machine.
And then tap it.
And then you print it. And then you don't have to sign anything. You don't have to do any of that. That was like 10 years ago in Canada. But in the States, it's still that system.
The weird thing is, though, it's like, you know, when we were at the like markets and stuff, like
you
they
can
have
still tap it. Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm like, why
I know.
Can we not just tap? Like,
well, that's the thing. Some of them, like you do select the gratuity on the machine. So it's like, why are some places like this and some places you have to like, they print it out, then you have to write the gratuity down.
Yeah.
Then you sign it and it's like, excuse me, guys, is this 10 years ago?
It was crazy because like I had a night out in San Francisco when I went there last year and me and my friends, we had several beverages. And like towards the end of the night, having to sign those and fill out the tip when you're like a little bit tipsy yourself was a fucking disaster.
Maybe it's like a strategic thing. It's like, oh,
to get more tips.
Well, so continue the story of what we discovered.
So what Rose discovered.
Thank you for the credit, Daniel. I know you don't often give me credit.
So we're at this bar and we're getting some cocktails, and the cocktails were $12 each. Rose gets the bill, and the bill was like, I don't know, 30 or 32.
Like, yeah, it was like a lot.
Yeah. So
at first I didn't think anything of it.
Yeah. And then it shows like circle something, and then it had like tip amount and then total amount, which was blank. You added in. And Rose was like, what the fuck? Like, this is so weird. And then she was like looking at the bill. She's like, oh my God, the gratuity is already included.
It's already included. 20% already included, which is, first of all,
that's high.
What the fuck, dude? Okay. I know that, like, listen, we tip and everything.
Yeah.
But we literally, it's just like ordering drinks at the bar. Okay, I don't like to tip 20%.
I know. It's
when they make a fucking drink within 5 seconds.
Especially if you're like buying a beer or something.
It's ridiculous.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to tip 20% on my beer.
That should not be automatically added. I think it's so ridiculous. Anyways, it was automatically added, but also it was confusing because they still leave that tip, you know, that line where you can fill out the tip.
Yeah.
So you actually, unless you actually look at the receipt, you won't know that it's included.
Exactly.
So one of our friends actually tipped on top of that, and then later I told them, and they're like, "Oh shit, we like added another like $7."
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening? Oh, my dad's calling me. Hold on.
Why does this always happen when we're doing
I don't know. My apologies for the disruption.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so yeah, guys, watch out when you go to bars, especially in downtown Houston.
Keep an eye out
because they all did it as well. Like almost every single one of them had like an, you know, and again, if you weren't paying attention, you're just going to tip double. 40% you're going to tip.
The only one that didn't was the Irish pub we went to.
Right. Exactly. And you knew.
Yeah. I looked and I was like, oh, this is nice. It doesn't have an automatic tip. And I also don't think, like, unless you're at like a fine dining restaurant, like I'm kind of like, there should be options to tip and show you the different tip amounts. But then also I'm like, it shouldn't just be an auto 20%.
Oh, especially when it's at the bar.
I know.
So before, when I was a server, we would do, what do you call it? Automatic gratuity. If it was like 8 people or more at a like a dine-in situation, you're serving them for maybe a couple hours. Okay, that kind of makes sense.
100%.
Okay, but at the bar?
I know.
God, it's getting out of control. Anyways.
It is. Everything going up and everything getting expensive.
People are poor and you keep asking for more monies. But apparently Houston, well, Texas, the minimum wage is like $7-something, which is just absolutely atrocious.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
How people can afford to live.
I don't know, through the fucking tips and trying to get more tips by scamming people.
I know, but also, you know, $7 an hour, and then it's like, think about it, they have to all drive cars. Mm-hmm. So you have to pay for a car. You ain't taking, no one's taking I didn't even see a bus.
No.
The whole time I was there, I was like,
I mean, Houston is a car city.
Yeah.
It's a car city. It's one of our worst nightmares. The thing is, the weird thing was, like, they had a lot of cool places.
Yeah.
And I feel like they probably do have a lot of cool places, but it's like, it's all just, the city just looks ugly because it's all just cars, like large highways, huge parking lots. And even the cool places were in like a strip mall.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting. Well, not interesting, but you know, but that's kind of how LA is as well.
Really?
A lot of places in LA.
Well, I think they just have to have the strip malls because everyone drives. They have to
exactly.
They have to have the parking.
Exactly. So it's like they have to do it like that, but it just makes it look ugly.
It was even like when we were downtown when we went for a night out. It was like we drove down there and it was like we were driving and there was like parkades full of cars.
Yeah.
I was like, this is insane.
Welcome to the United States of America.
Houston.
Stop it, Daniel. Okay, next story.
Next.
First story.
Well, before we get into that, guys, if you aren't already, don't forget to check out our Patreon.
Patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast.
And I think this is getting close to almost, when's the deadline to sign up for the trips, Rose?
Oh, God. It's almost over.
Yeah.
Almost. Guys, so we're going to Bali and Thailand in August. It's getting close.
Yep.
So they're going to close the trips very soon. I don't know when. Okay.
Damn.
So the signups might be closed soon. So definitely sign up. I got another sign up for Bali. So Bali, there's like maybe 2 spots left.
Yeah.
So if you want to come to Bali, definitely sign up now. Thailand, there's some more spots, but they're going to close the booking soon.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to come to Thailand or Bali or both in August with us and other people, we're going to have such a good time. Definitely sign up now. The links are in the show notes.
And with that said, guys, let's get right into it. So
okay, so what's the first story?
Our first story in light of Pride Month. So I guess June is like global.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride, everyone.
What do you mean you guessed, Daniel? You be part of the LGBTQ community.
June is global Pride Month. So around the world, I guess June is not a guess. June is global Pride Month.
Yes.
And so a lot of companies do like, little things, promotions. A lot of logos will have like pride flags in them right now. Mm-hmm. So like I'm with Tangerine Bank and their like little logo when I go to log in now is like the pride flag. Mm-hmm. So little things like that. So anyway, I was a bit confused when I saw this story because it says Cracker Barrel, which like my experience from previous with Cracker Barrel is it's like that brand of cheese. Like
I don't know what Cracker Barrel is.
I thought it was a brand of like cheese and like dairy products or something like this, which makes sense. Cracker Barrel, I feel like. But anyway, so apparently it's also a restaurant chain.
Okay.
In the U.S. So Cracker Barrel faces calls for a boycott from critics who object to the restaurant chain showing support for LGBTQ plus people.
Oh my God.
I know. The restaurant is known for its down-home decor, southern country-themed menu, and affordable prices. On Thursday, they published a Facebook post celebrating June as Pride Month, complete with a picture of a rocking chair painted in the rainbow colors that have come to represent the LGBTQ plus community. In the post, they also wrote, "We are really excited to celebrate Pride Month with our employees and guests." The restaurant posted, "Everyone is always welcome at our table and our rocker. Happy Pride."
Great. Wonderful.
Exactly. There be the ad.
Okay.
Very subtle too. It's not like it's like in
right.
your face.
Yeah. It's like really not. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess Lauren Chen, a host of conservative news outlet Blaze TV and contributor to conservative youth organization Turning Point USA, urged consumers to avoid Cracker Barrel, pointing to the company's Pride Day post. Thankfully, it makes it even easier than ever to skip this mid-restaurant whenever someone recommends it, she tweeted. Everyone else should do their part and skip dining at the Cracker Barrel too. Is it now cool to just like hate on the LGBT thing now? Like, I thought we were... Even the conservatives were kind of like on board now.
Yeah.
So now is it just swinging back in that direction?
I don't know. I think with everything that's been going on with like, don't
trans
say gay, trans stuff that's been going on, I feel like it's like...
Jesus Christ.
It's swung back, Rose.
Oh my God.
And it is crazy to me because like actually there's a lot of very like not saying that this is good or bad, but like conservatives are very like capitalistic as well. And actually the LGBTQ plus wallet share is pretty big. Like there's a lot of spending power in LGBTQ plus couples and community.
So really economically, this does not make sense to be against LGBT. Not that should be the only reason.
Of course not.
But that's why a lot of like, let's face it, that's why a lot of companies get on the Pride train. Do they actually give a shit? Probably not.
No.
But are they opposing it? Not. So it's better than opposing it.
Exactly.
But like, why would you? Why?
Yeah, because if you think about it, like for like most like couples, right? Like LGBTQ plus couples, like they're gonna be less. I mean, they're still having kids, like adopting and everything else. Less likely though.
So they'll have that dink income.
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. They got double dinks.
That dual income, no kids.
Exactly.
Goddamn, and those gays are making lots of money.
Some of them. That's for sure. Where's my sugar daddy?
There's something about like a gay couple. It's like a gay power couple, A lot of them make lots of monies. And
then generally they don't not generally, but a lot of them don't have kids, and they generally like to travel and do things, and they're fun loving, And so, like, I think of myself, if I had a partner, goddamn, we'd be traveling
spending
the world,
all kinds of money,
spending our money.
You going to Cracker Barrels?
Go to Cracker Barrels? Probably not. I'm sure they don't have that many vegan options, but you never know. Show some support for Cracker Barrel if they.
Oh my God! Okay, can you scroll a little bit? So I guess their post got like mixed responses, and some people obviously are supporting it. Basically, I think the reason is that it's getting backlash, I guess, is because I guess it caters to kind of, it's a country vibe. It's catering to the, conservative sort of cowboy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the Southern vibe.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of off brand in a way for them to support LGBTQ. But like, imagine caring about this. Imagine being like, oh my God, this restaurant just posted an Instagram post saying that they don't hate gay people.
And that everyone's welcome in the restaurant.
Yeah.
That is, I oppose that. Not everyone should be welcome in this restaurant.
So what are they saying? What's the alternative? You just don't want people to, do you want gay people to not be welcome in the restaurant? Like, is that what it is?
Or they don't want the restaurant to be posting about gay rights, or not gay rights. They wasn't even posting about gay rights. They're just saying. It literally
wasn't even political.
Yeah. They're just saying like, hey,
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Come to our restaurant.
Come
Everyone's
eat here.
welcome. You know, it's a marketing campaign. They want to make money.
What is wrong with people?
God damn.
This is like a conversation we had 20 years ago. We should not be having this conversation again. So Daniel, clearly, you know, these conservatives don't want you to be eating at the Cracker Barrel.
No, well,
what's happening.
You know what? It's crazy. I just, you know what? Yeah. I don't know what to say anymore.
It's comedic.
Yeah. It's comedic.
Yeah. I mean, I just, you know, sometimes I'm like, I wish I could live in a world where I have so much time on my hands that I care so much about something that has absolutely nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Okay, next story.
Next story.
I mean, jokes aside, it is a little concerning that we are going backwards. You know, it is a little bit concerning. All right. So, okay, guys, we have to talk about this very serious problem that I am going to have a meltdown over.
God damn.
And this problem, guys, is with the cock sauce.
God damn.
AKA, do you know why I call it the cock sauce? Have you not heard me call it the cock sauce?
I'm totally going to clip that and have that at the very beginning of our episode. I have a problem with something and it's the cock sauce. And then it's going to end and the music's going to go.
Yeah. Perfect. I love it. I don't oppose.
Okay.
And the cock sauce I speak of is not what you're thinking. It's
get your filthy minds out of the gutter, people.
It is Sriracha.
Yeah. And why do you call it the cock sauce, Rose?
Because there is a cock on the bottom. There's a chicken.
A rooster
On the bottle.
Also known as a cock.
So we call it the cock sauce.
Yeah.
And so we have, okay, so this is kind of old news, but
it's not really old news. It's new. It's resurfaced news.
It's kind of old news as in this recently came out, like this news came out about last month, but now I think we're seeing the repercussions now.
No, but because remember it happened earlier in the year as well.
It did.
And then it came back.
Exactly.
But now it's happening again.
Yes, but
or was it last year that it was a shortage?
There was like last year or something.
Yeah.
But now it's resurfaced. I mean, they announced this resurfacing like last month. And basically there's a shortage of the cock sauce. It's a serious problem.
Yeah.
And you know, guys, I am a big fan of the cock sauce.
I know. Rose loves. She puts that shit on everything, you know?
And okay. I'm crying.
I think you just call it Sriracha, Rose. Because it's getting a little bit dirty.
So Sriracha.
Yeah.
Guys, the problem is recently we have discovered, okay, that it is no longer available in stores. Now we are seeing fake versions of the Sriracha. And the reason why we know it's fake, because on the bottle,
it has a duck.
There is no cock.
It's a duck.
It's a fucking duck or a bird or something.
Yeah.
Okay? This is a problem. And if you guys have ever tried the fake Sriracha, it is atrocious. Okay? I mean, it's not atrocious. Okay, it's not
atrocious,
bad.
but it's just not the same.
It's not the same at all. It does not taste at all remotely the same. There has never been a replica of the cock sauce that has worked. Okay? And the reason why I know this is because I remember when I moved to the UK. Okay? When I first moved to the UK, this was 2014. Okay. So this is when me and Chrissy started calling it the cock sauce. So we moved and we couldn't find Sriracha.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, why is every single bottle? We found like Sriracha, like a fake Sriracha with like birds on it. And
it generally has a duck. The other brand is like a duck.
I saw like, I don't know, something flying. And I'm like, no, you should not be flying. Okay. Anyway, so.
It should be a sturdy cock on the front.
And so we would buy it and we tried it and we're like, this is not it. Okay. And we went on the hunt.
It didn't have the unique cock sauce taste.
Exactly. We went on the hunt for the cock sauce. Okay. And we could not find it.
So you were running all around London looking for the cock sauce.
Exactly. And then actually one of our friends had to like literally bring us Sriracha from Canada.
Yeah.
That's like all I wanted. Anyways. So this is like bringing me unfortunate flashbacks.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a shortage because the weather in Southern California is heating up the summer. And basically,
they were saying, so I think they get some of it from Southern California, but they said last year there was a drought, I guess, in Mexico. And that's part of the reason they had this, because this is the second year in a row they're having kind of shortages or problems with, the producing enough. So I guess last year's drought in Mexico continues to hamper its ability to churn out the iconic spicy condiment. They're still experiencing a shortage of raw material as the bad weather continues, like the conditions continue. So like Mexico just hasn't been able to grow enough of the chilies needed.
Daniel, are you able to speak?
I can't speak today,
Continue.
guys. So this is the second year in a row they're having issues Oh my God. Why can I not speak? Why do I keep fucking saying cooking?
I think we talked a little too much about the cock sauce.
We did. Now I'm like cooking.
So typically it
Rose
says...
got me distracted with the cock sauce.
So Hui Feng Foods, I'm sorry, I'm probably not saying that right. Hui Feng Foods, the company that makes the cock sauce, typically uses about 50,000 tons of chilies a year in producing its 3 condiments, which also include chili garlic sauce, which is also so good. Oh my God. And sambal olek. Okay, I don't know how to say it. Anyway. So, though some production resumed last fall, the company still has a limited supply that continues to affect production. So they actually don't know when the chilies may become more readily available. So basically, we are in a global Sriracha shortage. Yeah. Okay, we're talking a very serious problem.
Yeah.
I'm very upset about it. We need to make this happen. Okay? It is, guys, climate change is impacting us all.
I was going Climate change is impacting Rose's ability to access cock sauce.
You guys, this is a serious problem.
I know, but you know what? This, all jokes aside, this is just a small taste. Okay, this is like,
oh God, you're bringing it back to the doom and gloom, Daniel.
But this is just a really small taste as to what is gonna start happening with our global food supply. Like, this is, I know. I don't want to be doom gloom, guys. I'm gonna, but I am for just a minute.
Are you sure? Because this is your favorite thing to do.
I know, but like, this is a little one. It's a little one. It's like a little thing. Like, oh, we love Sriracha. And now Sriracha is a shortage because they're not producing enough chilies because of global climate change. But then other dishes that use chilies are also going to have issues. And then other products, because Mexico doesn't just grow chilies. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be other products that are impacted. California's having all these fires and everything else. We know that California's a large producer of oranges, for example. So are we going to start having orange juice shortage? You know, like, it's going to snowball, right?
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because it segues into something I did want to talk about, actually, which is off topic. It's on topic of this, off topic of, I didn't pull up the story. But on the flight to Houston, you know how you can like watch different movies and stuff.
Oh God. Again, guys, welcome back to the Doom and Gloom podcast.
This isn't doom and gloom, guys.
The world is ending. Daniel, continue.
There's a silver lining, okay?
Oh, there's a silver lining.
Yeah. So I watched this documentary called "We're Eating Ourselves to Death."
Is that the silver lining?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and it talked about basically what's happening globally with all the impacts of like fishing and all of the stuff that we're doing with animal agriculture and fish farming, and it talked about so many different elements of it. And it brought back to the fact that, and it was a positive. Well, I say it's positive, but again, it does take. It does require mass change. But they were saying a plant-based diet.
Yes.
And I was surprised because a lot of documentaries don't always talk about this. You know, sometimes they'll like sugarcoat it, like shorten your shower times and do this. And it's like, well, no.
Yeah.
And they said a plant-based diet is the single most effective way that we as society are going to start reversing the impacts of climate change. Now, they were saying like drastic figures, but they're like, if everybody on the planet adopted a plant-based diet, they were like, we would be able to reclaim, I think they said something like 70% of our farmland, like reclaim it as in, you know, bring it back to the jungle.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And they were saying like naturally, you know, if we started letting the jungle grow, like for example, the rainforest, like if we stopped farming so close to it, it would actually naturally start growing out. So it's not all hope is lost. But it's like, it would be such a drastic shift.
Yeah.
Globally.
Well, we would need a drastic shift.
Exactly.
And we've been, the problem is, we've been talking about this for the last 10 years at this point. Well, more than that, but I've been talking about it. We've been talking about it. Are people going plant-based fully? No, not enough.
I think one of the issues too, which they actually brought up in the documentary, which was kind of interesting, is we do rely. Obviously, governments play a huge role in everything, and one of the things that's really kind of, ironic is leading up to this point is the government's reluctance to discuss diet as a way to combat climate change, right? Like we've grown up and we've always heard reduce your electrical consumption, reduce, reuse, recycle, shorten your shower times, like, only use things that are necessary, all of this kind of stuff. Like don't drive as much to reduce greenhouse gases. But up until like recently, and even still, there's not a big push from governments.
Why do you think that is, Daniel?
I know why it is, but I'm just saying.
Why is it, Daniel?
Because they get a lot lobbied by a lot of the very, very wealthy.
They get money from these industries that are so powerful, that have so much money, and they will pay politicians to never ever say, go vegan.
Yeah. And also another interesting thing that they said in the documentary, which actually makes sense as a taxpayer. They were saying, right now, most governments, at least in the Western world, they're heavily subsidizing the dairy and meat industry in general. And they were saying, well, if the government actually did care about preservation of society and what's in the best interest of society, they would actually move those subsidies to plant-based products. Yeah. And they would remove them from the meat and dairy industry and then, subsidize the plant-based products so that those could get more competitive. And actually, it's better overall for society in general for us to be eating those types of products versus meat and fish. And they also showed, which I kind of knew already, but they showed a lot of stuff about fish farming.
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh, it's horrendous.
So bad.
Like they were like washing the fish with like hydrogen peroxide or something because
oh my God.
Yeah, or like some kind of like acid because all the fish get like lice and like random shit because they're all like in these like small like fish farms and they showed a camera of the fish like swimming around and they're all like diseased and at the bottom of like the net there's like all these dead fish that they have to remove all the time.
Oh, it's so bad.
Like, and they're like if you're eating fish farmed fish, like it is just so bad.
Yeah.
Like just on so many levels, like the disease and the like, and also the like levels of like little microplastics and all this other shit. Like, goddamn, guys. But anyway,
it's a huge problem.
It is a huge problem.
Go vegan, everyone, or at least try to eat more plant-based. We're in a crisis, guys. I need my sriracha. I need the cock sauce. Okay.
Exactly. Rose be craving it. She needs her daily dose. She puts it in everything.
I have like half a bottle left and it's basically gold now. So
is that why you never offer it to me anymore when I'm over?
Well, I actually gave you some. So
it was hot sauce, Rose. It was Frank's.
Oh, the buffalo.
Yeah,
okay.
It was the buffalo.
Well, you're going to have to start paying for the sriracha.
I know, because that shit's going to turn to liquid gold.
It's seriously, I'm so upset.
Like and it's interesting because like we didn't realize there was a shortage. And I remember I went into Safeway like a month ago because I have none left. And I went into Safeway to go buy some and it only had the duck version and I was like, what the fuck is going on?
God. And
then on the intercom I remember someone saying Sriracha's out or something. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, oh next time I go in and I keep going in and it's never there and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And now I know why.
I know.
So, and because we're so like because it's made in California, I feel like California gets first dibs.
Exactly.
So we're gonna get whatever's left. So probably in Calgary it's gonna be like gone.
And it's probably like $20 a bottle.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, it's so sad.
I know, I'm gonna cry.
But yeah.
I wonder why they can't. Like, it's like no one can replicate that taste.
I know.
Like it must be. I mean,
but I also
and
think
the ingredients are on there.
Yeah, but it's like.
Do you think it's a pepper?
It is the pepper. Something to do with the pepper. Like I think that's obviously a prime ingredient.
Right.
And it's like the proportion of the ingredients.
Exactly.
The way it's made together because maybe there's like
how long it's aged.
Exactly.
How long they grew the pepper.
There's a process. Also how they make the sauce. Like maybe they crush the peppers and do something magical.
It's a secret. Only the Hu Feng family knows.
Exactly.
And then isn't it like in the Coca-Cola company? Isn't it only like a few people that know the actual recipe?
Yes. I heard.
And then what if they die?
Well, I heard there's only a few people, and guys, this could be all speculation here. I heard there's a few people that know the recipe.
Yeah.
And like a few senior execs, or I don't know who it is, but they're not all allowed to be on the same plane together. So they're not
in case they die.
Exactly. In case something happens to the plane, and then the recipe obviously would be gone. Yeah. But I'm like shocked. They must have it written down somewhere, like in a safe.
Yeah, like out. They must.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody stealing that? That's kind of crazy. It's probably the same with like McDonald's or something, because they don't release I don't think they release the ingredients or they don't release like the actual recipe, right? Because they just ship it. Well, I'm sure it's not as intense as the Coca-Cola situation, but I think the actual recipe to make the burgers or whatever, I think it's like confidential. I think, but then it's all made because they all ship it out to the franchises.
Well, and you think with like something like Coca-Cola, like people are going to know, like, for example, like, let's say they do it like an assembly line, right? Like, but we're all in different rooms. So I don't know how much, like, I don't know how much water you're putting in.
No, Daniel, they don't.
Sugar.
Exactly. They don't know.
But if we quit and got together, I'd be like, well, I put in this much sugar. You put in this much water. We could do it. You know?
And then they're going to get sued.
That's true. Then they
Because clearly they worked at Coca-Cola before.
Yeah.
So then they're going to know.
There's probably a clause in their contract as well.
Exactly. It says like NDA or something.
Yeah. Or like you're not allowed to replicate our products.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, guys, we're having a serious Sriracha shortage. I'm unhappy. I will protest.
Will you?
I will. I'm very upset about it.
I know it's not good. It's
not
scary.
good.
It's scary what it represents though too.
I know.
Like that's the issue. It's like,
no, Daniel, I just want to focus on the shallowness of this issue.
I know you do.
Sriracha and the cock sauce.
You like to focus on the shallowness of many issues, Rose.
I like to focus on the cock sauce. Okay.
Rose got a one-track mind. She wants that cock sauce. She wants it everywhere. She wants it all over her food.
Can you stop?
Sometimes you just have it directly from the source.
Oh God. Continuing on. Speaking of the doom and gloom podcast.
Yeah. So guys, I don't know if you're in the US right now or you've heard about this.
Well, this is kind of, is it? I mean, it's not going on now, is it?
No, I think it's cleared up now.
So, guys, there was like a whole thing in New York City where the air quality was so bad because we're having such wildfire issues here in Canada.
Yeah. And it's continuing. Like, obviously, it's not just on our side of Canada. Like, we're on the western side. So, like, on the eastern side, they're having lots of fires.
That's kind of new. Like, usually it's kind of in the BC side.
BC's known to have fires.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. But I did see this thing where they were talking about, again, just in BC and Alberta. And I think it was focused on Alberta. And they showed, like, the graph of, like, smoke hours.
Okay.
In, like, major cities like Calgary and Edmonton.
Okay.
And they're showing like over the last like years, like there used to be like we'd have like maybe 5 hours of smoke on average for that year, and it's gone up and up and up, and now it's like ridiculous amounts.
Oh no! Yeah, and it's been so bad.
Yeah.
So I guess now I think it was in Quebec that they had a big wildfire, and that smoke basically, obviously, because we're sharing the same air essentially.
Yeah.
So it made its way to New York, and then of course Americans are freaking the fuck out.
They were like freaking, but
like fuck you, Canadians.
And it's crazy when it happens, guys. If you've never experienced like smoke coming into your city, like when we had it here, it's like it was like the whole city's like kind of like it's like you're in a zombie apocalypse. I'm not even kidding you. I was downtown house sitting at the time and looking up at the sun. The sun was like this orange, like you could see it through the haze.
Yeah.
But like you can't really see it, and it does look like something, and it kind of like feels eerie in the city.
Yeah.
Everything looks kind of gray.
Well, did you see the pictures of New York? It was like full on sepia.
Yeah.
It was just like all kind of reddish hue. And then of course some influencers that are really out of touch will like go out and do like a photo shoot. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, guys, God. The world is burning. People's homes are being evacuated, or people are being evacuated out of their homes.
Yeah.
Can we like just
I love your community, Rose. What can I say?
Excuse me. Do not put the vegan influencers in the same category.
Mm-hmm. Like some of these influencers, honestly, like when this shit happens, like people are like freaking out. It smells like a campfire outside.
It really does. It literally smells like it's a campfire, which I love campfires, but like, not in this context. And it's actually really, really bad air quality. They say that it's like equivalent to smoking like a pack of cigarettes a day if you're like outside for whatever.
Yeah.
So it's really bad for us. It's a serious issue.
Yeah.
And what are we going to do about it?
I think like, honestly, like we're going to have to start repurposing those COVID-19 masks, and we're going to have to start wearing them because like this is what they do a lot. Like you often hear of not so much smoke, but like smog in Asia.
Yeah. Pollution. Yeah. Pollution. In Asia. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because Asians always wore masks outside because Asian pollution is so bad.
Yeah.
Like in Korea, people wear masks even before COVID outside.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why Asians were a lot more receptive to wearing masks, just because they were already probably wearing masks.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to wear masks all the time.
I know, but this is like
people go vegan.
I know, like guys, we are literally. It's so crazy. Like we are literally killing our planet.
We really are.
And it's like these are just becoming our realities now. Like it's soon going to be like our summers are now going to be us wearing masks for half the time.
I mean, it kind of already is. I mean, if you think about it. It's what? Middle of June, barely? Mm-hmm. And we've already had so many wildfires and so many, like even in our city, we had like that week of smoke.
Yeah.
And when we were in Houston, there was also another wildfire over the weekend.
Yeah.
So another bad air quality situation. Then, of course, in Quebec, we had that. So it's like it's consistently happening.
Yeah.
Almost every single week.
Well, and look at how hot our summer's been already.
Yeah.
Like we're only in June, and usually in Canada or in Calgary, like the olden days when I was growing up here, like it would only start to get kind of nice in June.
Yeah.
You know, like May, sometimes you would luck out and people would be like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But it would never be like super hot in May. Like it would usually be like kind of warm, but like never super hot. We had like week of like 29 degrees in May. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then like, I just have a feeling like our summer as well is going to be a scorcher.
We going to have a tropical weather soon.
I know.
There ain't going to be no more snow.
Which is scary as AF.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the Doom and Gloom podcast. My name is Rose.
And my name is Daniel.
My name is Doom.
My name is Gloom.
So anyways, New York was very heavily impacted by the smoke, and which is kind of insane because so many people live in New York.
Yeah.
And so many people walk outside. And so it really impacted, I think, I guess it was 3 days of bad air. So, yeah, a lot of people just stayed inside.
Yeah. And it's funny because like a lot of people, I heard a lot about this, like, oh, the Canadians and those fires are like, blowing into the U.S. and now we're getting all this smoke and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, guys,
we do not own the air.
Exactly. This is the thing. We share a planet here, and like this is the reality of what's going to start happening.
Yeah, so they're going to be like, oh my God, why did they start a fire, guys? I don't know how that fire started. But this is the thing. With these extreme weather patterns, when there's like a small fire, it's more likely to turn into a bigger fire. And then if places that normally rain are not raining anymore, then that fire is not going to be stopped. So all of these problems, it's just all a result of climate change. Anyway, so New York, guys, what are we going to do? Okay, is there another? No more fire.
No. So
next story,
which
is another scary thing that we've talked about recently, which is AI, which we are very scared about.
But this story, the reason I like this, well, I don't like this story, but this story really brings up an interesting point because it's starting to get into that realm, right? Like we have all of these changes happening rapidly, and we have, again, it kind of begs to question like the legal framework and the rules and regulations around this, like
around
stuff.
AI and this new technology that's happening.
So apparently a radio show host is suing OpenAI for defamation after ChatGPT fabricated legal accusations against said radio host.
So basically, OpenAI is the company that created ChatGPT, which is the big AI platform that a lot of people are using nowadays.
Yeah.
Where you can like type things up and you can ask questions. Basically, you can be like, hey, can you tell me what's going on with said radio host? And then it's going to give you like a whole shit ton of information within seconds.
Yeah.
So I guess ChatGPT, which I did not know, is notorious for generating false and misleading information. But this seems to be the first defamation case filed against the creator, OpenAI. So this is interesting because basically, as far as I understand, which I don't understand much about AI,
I know
it just basically takes all kinds of information that it can find on the internet.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of like summarizes it somehow really fast.
Yeah.
Within seconds. So, a technology like this doesn't necessarily know because it's not.
It's not a fact checker.
It's not a fact checker. So it doesn't know what's real or false information. So this is where we're getting into that kind of slightly scary territory of, what information is accurate, what information is not accurate.
Exactly. And this actually begs the question because like I have a lot of questions about AI and a lot of it is around this kind of stuff. Like how much of it is factual? How much of it is, replaces like someone doing research, like this kind of stuff. And I think the interesting thing here, there's a couple like different topics, but number one, it's like, okay, in these situations where let's say there is some misleading or not correct information about somebody, a celebrity or like a radio show host or whatever, where is the blame? Is it OpenAI? Is it the ChatGPT, like the ChatGPT app or whatever that OpenAI owns? Is it the misleading information that's out on the web about this person,
right,
where ChatGPT is pulling that in?
Right.
Is it the person running or putting in things on ChatGPT? Like who is actually to blame here? How is this, where is the rules and regulations around this.
Right. Which we don't have any.
Yeah.
And like we always talk about, the problem is because this is such fast moving technology. I mean, we've already had such fast moving technology in the last 10 years, but with AI, it's exponentially growing so quickly that there's no way for regulations to catch up. So it's quite interesting that this is the first kind of lawsuit. So it's interesting to see. It would be interesting to see what happens from it.
Yeah.
So basically what happened is a radio host in Georgia, Mark Walters, is suing the company after ChatGPT stated that Walters had been accused of defrauding and embezzling funds from a nonprofit organization. The system generated the information in response to a request from a third party, a journalist named Fred whatever. Okay. Yeah. So that's interesting. So again, who are we blaming here? Yeah. So Walter's case was filed June 5th, blah, 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 blah. And he's seeking damages from OpenAI. So he's suing the company that made ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Which I guess in this case kind of makes sense because the person that was like just trying to look for information, it's not really their fault if there's false information that comes up.
Yeah. But this is it. And this is where a lot of these issues are coming into play, even with the internet and how there's that whole movement, or not movement, but like that whole conversation around how much false and misleading information is already on the internet. And then you have ChatGPT, which is, people are using these AI kind of products and stuff to generate, maybe stories, to generate all sorts of things. And it's again, like, I found it fascinating. Like there's certain things with ChatGPT that I was like, oh, this is fucking cool, And I thought it was really interesting how you could like narrow down your searches and do all this stuff. But again, it's like, it is almost exacerbating that problem of like false media and false, like, what do you know what's real and what's not? Like ChatGPT isn't a fact checker.
Exactly.
Right. Like, I don't know. And then, as a ChatGPT, as a radio host or something like this, it's like, if there's misleading information about you out there, like, what can you do? It's like we talked about this earlier too, like deep fake and doing these like celebrity voices and celebrity like lookalikes where it looks like they're talking because they can like artificially create like you doing an interview somewhere. Yeah. And it's like, who is to blame there? The person that created it?
I think for that you would blame, because it's very easy to also abuse it. Yeah. So I think if somebody created like a deep fake is basically, from what I understand, is when you take someone that's famous or something and their face, and then you like create like a porn. I think that's what it is.
Or maybe you could do
or whatever. I don't know.
Things,
I don't know if it's like an over, like it's a term for everything.
Yeah.
But that's what I understand what a deepfake is. So like, if somebody created that, I think that should be in the fault of the creator. Yeah. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Because that's, but then at the same time, it's like in the court of law, because there's no actual law against creating something fictional.
Yeah.
It's like, it's such a weird kind of space.
And even to exacerbate that problem, we already have an issue with misleading or false information on the internet. So if people are creating, images or celebrities saying certain things, doing certain things, that's exacerbating the problem of misinformation, because then other people are going to look at stuff on the internet and find these things, and they'll be like, oh, wow, this celebrity's talking shit about this stuff because it sounds like them or looks like them. Yeah. And they'll think it's real.
Right.
So it makes it worse.
Right. So now we're never going to know what's real and what's not.
How do you draw the line if they can create like AI products or things out there which look real? Like, how are we going to distinguish?
Scary.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
This is scary.
Yeah.
And there's no way to control it. And they're also saying that another way that this could be abused is, for example, if somebody calls you, right? Like somebody calls you on the phone.
Yes.
And that sounds like your mom. It's like, hi, mom. Great. Says mom on the phone, whatever. People do weird shit with technology.
Yep.
And then she's like, oh my God, I need you to send me like $500 for whatever. And then it sounds exactly like your mom.
Yep.
So you're going to send the money. So they're saying now, you got to be careful. You need to have some sort of a safe word, or like maybe ask a question that only your mom would know. You know what I mean? That you can't find on the internet, because people can easily fake somebody's voice and then scam people. This is like a scammer's dream.
Hugely. And then, like, going back to this case, they actually mentioned this in the article, exactly what we're talking about here. This case is notable given the widespread complaints about false information generated by ChatGPT and other chatbots. These systems have no reliable way to distinguish fact from fiction. And when asked for information, particularly if asked to confirm something the questionnaire suggests is true, they frequently invent dates, facts, and figures.
Oh my God.
Usually these fabrications do nothing more than mislead users or waste their time, but cases are beginning to emerge of such errors causing harm.
Also, another thing to note is that it's a little concerning that somebody, I know that everyone uses it at this point. Well, a lot of people use it, but a journalist was using it.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Okay, this is where, I get that it's convenient, but at the same time, should journalists be using ChatGPT?
No.
Like,
in my opinion, guys,
your one job is to find correct information.
Yes.
That's your job.
And to research it and have reliable sources and, do all this stuff. But again, these things are making a journalist's job hard because
it's making it somewhat easy, but then they're not doing it properly.
Exactly. But I mean, also on the flip side, journalists that are actually doing their job properly, it's making it harder because you're going to come across fake stuff, AI generated content, all of these things where it's like, what's real and what's not.
And the problem is, they're out of the journalists out there, maybe let's say 4 out of 10 use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And then 6 out of 10 they don't. They refuse to use it.
Yeah.
But then the problem is the 4 that use it, they're probably getting so much more work done, whether or not it's real. But then so they're gonna be more efficient with their time. And the rest that are trying to do it without using this thing that could potentially create misinformation, they're gonna fall behind. And that's another issue.
Yeah.
So, fuck our lives. And it's scary. And the problem is, if you're on the internet, this should be concerning to everybody. Okay? Whether or not you're a public figure.
Or not.
This is a bit scary. Well,
listen to this, guys. There's more to that, Rose.
Oh,
I mean, what
Lord
you're talking
Jesus.
about. So here's some other instances. So anyway, they're saying there's other issues where they've uncovered this. So basically there was a professor, I guess, at a university or a college threatening to flunk his students after ChatGPT claimed his students used AI to write their essays.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
A lawyer facing possible sanctions after using ChatGPT to research fake legal cases. So I guess, again, these are people trying to use it to obviously try to simplify their work and make it faster, but there's no
way of knowing that it's real or not. And the problem is also, it's not like when because I've used it before, right? So when you search it up, it's not really it doesn't give you the source of the information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's probably pulling it from so much, and it's probably so many different types of information that it's pulling it from. So you're not going to be able to check the source. You know what I mean? If I Wikipedia something, which that was our issue. Yeah. Remember when we were in university, people are like, oh, you can't Wikipedia it because, and that, at least when you go on Wikipedia, they have sources. You can click the articles where they get the information from.
Exactly. And then you can use those articles and see if they're a reliable source of information.
Whereas this, they don't give you that. So basically, you just kind of have to guess or do extra research on top to see if it's real or not.
Exactly. It's fucking crazy, guys.
So I really am I want to let's keep an eye out on this case, because I really want to know if they win. I want to know if the lawsuit is has merit, because we don't know. Again, we don't know if there is a legal, way.
It's interesting because they're saying here, traditionally in the US, there's some section 230 or whatever. I don't know what the details of this, but it shields internet firms from legal liability for information produced by a third party and hosted on their platforms. So I think this is something that a lot of companies did rely on, like Facebook and stuff, where if for example, if
somebody that was used
their platform to post this, so if someone's using ChatGPT to generate false information, it's not really the company's responsibility. But this is where we get into this gray area where it's should it be though? I don't know. Should there be more checks and balances built in there, or you know what I mean, to ensure the correctness of the information? Is that the responsibility of OpenAI? I don't know. I don't know the answers to these questions, but these are things that our legal system needs to iron out.
I think, because the thing is, it's a little bit different if you if you're on Facebook and there's a news organization or whatever, someone on Facebook that's spreading misinformation, that's literally a third party just using that platform to spread it. Whereas ChatGPT, this is like you are the ones that are giving that information.
Yeah.
So I get it. You're getting it from everywhere, but you're the ones producing that. So
it will be interesting to see what happens because, this could be a landmark case in a sense that if it goes a certain way, depending on which way it goes, right, it could actually kind of not stall, but slow the progression of AI.
Yes.
Because what will happen is these companies that are investing heavily in AI and stuff, they're going to pull the brakes a little bit to say, okay, we need to establish some sort of checks and balances within this framework to ensure that the data that we're producing is either there's really bold disclaimers and letting people know, or we have some way of pulling sources or doing something to kind of add sustenance to like what they're providing users. So this is actually really interesting. And this could be a really interesting landmark case for our generation around what's happening with AI.
And if they say that there is no legal precedent, then it's just gonna be a wild, wild west out there.
Then it's shit gonna get crazy.
Shit gonna hit the fan. It gonna go everywhere.
Yeah. And so for the meantime, it's gonna business as usual, and let's see what happens with this case.
Which is probably gonna take a fucking year.
Well, more than that, probably. These cases. That's another thing too. It's like these cases start, and like sometimes these cases take so effing long. And I get it. They have to review all the documentation and do all this stuff. But like sometimes you hear about these court cases.
You think they're going to use ChatGPT to solve the case?
Yeah. they're going to research,
They're going to research it on ChatGPT?
It's just interesting because I just feel like there's certain things that maybe we shouldn't be using ChatGPT for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's different where it's like, hey, I want to use ChatGPT to like, I'm starting a certain like business or a flower shop. Maybe I can get some ideas of like some content or things like that. That's where I feel like, oh, ChatGPT can actually be really useful.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, hey, I'm a lawyer doing research on a case. I really shouldn't be relying on ChatGPT to help me research quicker.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, there should be some distinguishing factors.
Or like writing an essay.
Yeah. So there's certain things that ChatGPT shouldn't be doing.
Oh my God. We're going to have worms for brains.
I know.
We are going to have worms for brains.
Well, I saw this really interesting meme, or like, it was a meme where it was like, it showed us, they're like, humans are hooked, and it showed all these like zombie looking humans like walking and like all caricatured and stuff, but like looking like a zombie, looking at their phone like this, like just hooked on their phone like this. And then it had these two like robots. They said humans are hooked, meanwhile machines are learning. And it had these two like robots like reading books, like studying and stuff. And I was like,
it's so true.
I'm like, this is what's happening, guys.
But that's the fear of AI, and that's the fear of these machines.
Yeah,
that's the fear. What's his name? Stephen Hawking? Is that his name?
Yeah.
He warned people against this type of thing. I think it was him.
Yeah.
He was like, one day it's gonna take over. We're gonna have a Frankenstein sort of situation.
Yeah.
We created Frankenstein.
It's crazy because there's even a movie called AI.
I need to watch this.
With Will Smith. Have you seen it?
I think I watched it so long ago.
It's like crazy. I won't ruin it for you because if you want to rewatch it.
I will rewatch it.
But it is this concept of AI and how AI
kind of takes over.
Like, and it was built to like protect people or enhance our lives.
Yes, because it can go out of control.
Exactly.
Like it can get out of control. And it's already kind of going in that direction.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
But that's why I think we're going to see more of this happening. More like...
Well, because also, someone evil, which there are many evil people, could use AI in so many different ways that can cause a lot of harm.
Yeah.
So this is the biggest fear,
I think there's a lot of potential for, again, if it goes... I'm not saying everything needs regulation, but like if it goes unregulated, there's very limited legal definitions in that space. Yeah. It is going to be a breeding ground for scam artists. It's going to be a breeding ground for like all sorts of things. And again, I don't think that there's not some good uses for ChatGPT and some of the AI and things like that. I think there's certain contexts and uses, it will be great. But widespread, just like using it for everything is bad.
Oh God.
Like... and that takes me back, like that whole thing we were saying about the scammers, like using it, like we already have poor people that are like,
I know,
not poor people, but like people that are
being
scammed, like targeted by these like call centers in India and like all these places where they're scamming people out of money and stuff. Well, if they can manipulate and sound like a relative, how much more easy or how much easier is it going to be? Like, and especially like I feel bad.
Older
like,
people?
Yes.
I know.
Like there was, I think
Tell your grandparents, guys.
I know, like my grandma, she lives in like an old folks community. And one of the ladies that lived next to her was like scammed out of like thousands of dollars.
Seriously, it happens to old people all the time.
I know, because they can get like, they get a little bit confused more easily.
Of course. And like, you know, they don't keep up with technology as much as we do.
Yeah.
So of course, like, you know, like that's going to happen.
Exactly. Because like, whereas we like certain things where it's like, you know, when we get an email from our bank being like, that looks so shady, but it kind of looks like our bank. And they're like, you need to log in because your account's been locked.
Yeah.
But it like you can kind of tell it's fake. You do certain things like you check the email address.
Of course.
You do all these things, right? And whereas like our grandparents or like older people would be like,
oh, my bank.
My bank. Oh, shoot, I better log in. And they'll click and it takes them to a website that looks like their bank. But then if you look at the URL, you have to look at the URL and they wouldn't know to do these things, right? Like some people wouldn't.
That's why, you know, we should just, after a certain age, we should just not have technology.
Okay. Go back to like the olden days.
You know, not being on the internet is sounding more and more appealing.
Damn.
After all this shit, you know?
I know.
You okay there, Daniel?
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. More to come. I think we should keep an eye on this one.
Yeah.
Although it's probably gonna like be like years later. And to be fair, it will be a landmark case. I think we'll hear about it when it gets a decision. Yeah. I am not going to say where I'm hoping the decision goes. I think y'all know.
Well, I think that there might be more. Because this guy started this, there's gonna be more cases like this where people are suing. Yeah, like they're gonna get more and more lawsuits, guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, it was like, you know, sometimes these things take so long. I remember that I watched this, and again, I don't remember the full story, but there was like this documentary on Netflix about this guy that owned this like website, and he was like the most hated man on the internet. I think that was the documentary. And people would send in like pictures
of girls, right?
Like let's say like you're dating your boyfriend, you guys break up.
Sure.
He has nudes of you or whatever, and he like revenge porns you and sends them to this guy, and he would upload them to his website. And then what would happen is like the parents would request to have it taken down, or whoever.
The parents.
Sometimes the parents.
Oh my God.
Sometimes the person, like they would get their parents to like get involved. Sometimes they'd take it down, but then another user might have downloaded it. They'll upload it. You know what I mean? And it becomes this like constant thing where it's like it never gets taken down. Yeah. And the guy was like, well, the guy, again, the companies kind of rely on this, or the owners of the website, where he was like, well, I'm not posting it. It's people using my platform.
Right.
So I'm not liable because someone is using my platform. They're like, but you can take it down.
Right.
So that's where it's like gets a little bit.
Oh God.
But I can't remember what happened in the end with that guy, but I think he did end up facing some sort of criminal charges.
Right.
But
which he should.
Yeah.
What a fucking asshole.
I know. I think
wasn't the whole purpose of that website to be kind of that kind of shit talking website?
Yes. It was like revenge.
You're going to create a website where people are going to talk shit. Like that's the purpose of your website, and you're going to say it's not your fault.
Exactly.
Fuck you, bitch.
Fuck you, bitch.
Is there another story?
Well, there's one.
It's about Reddit. Yeah. All right. So thousands of Reddit communities go dark in protest of API changes.
Goddamn way API.
I don't know what it stands for. Let's see here. Okay. So basically, they did this coordinated effort to protest the company's new policy to charge developers for access to its back-end interface.
So when I read this, from my understanding, is like Reddit can charge some developers to like use the back-end, use the back-end to do the back-end things. Okay. I don't know what happens in the back-end, guys, okay?
Well, I think you know what happens in the back-end.
Damn, Mercy be nasty as all hell. But basically, it was saying that they're going to start charging some developers for access to this because there was developers that were using some of Reddit's data for more commercial purposes.
Oh, interesting.
So now they're saying, hey, like there's going to be some sort of fee, and like developers across the platform, obviously.
I wonder what they do in the back end. like, can they change
Rose,
things?
I know what they do in the back end, okay?
Is it to do with the cock sauce?
Not that cock sauce, Rose.
Okay. I don't know. Guy, clearly we don't know anything about coding and, websites. But I guess they're okay. So it says developers wishing to use Reddit's API. Again, don't know what that is.
What is API?
I don't know.
All these terms.
It's because we're so
tech savvy.
Yes.
Yeah.
API to build apps. Actually, back in the day, I used to be tech savvy when I was younger. I made my own websites.
Oh,
yes.
I knew
HTML. I could have been a little coder.
Damn, why you went down a different path?
I went down a different path of destruction.
Plus, I always thought about this because, like, actually, it's funny you say that because I took a computer science course and I did really well in the coding section.
But, like, you're so bad at technology, I can't even.
No, but when I did the coding and stuff, I was like, doing well.
You're smart, so I'm sure you do well.
Yeah.
But there's something about you and trying to use technology.
Anyway, but
okay, so, yeah, so I guess developers wishing to use API to build apps for Reddit will not be charged. However, those wishing to use Reddit's data for commercial purposes that don't directly benefit the Reddit community will no longer have free access. I wonder what this is. Anyway, clearly we don't understand.
I think that actually makes sense though, because like what Reddit's doing is it's not crazy. They're saying, hey, if you want to use our API to build apps for Reddit, you're not going to get charged. And nor will the researchers, I guess, using Reddit for research purposes. I don't know. But those wishing to use Reddit data for commercial purposes that don't benefit the community will be charged.
Interesting. Go down a little bit. But then it's obviously we must be missing something here because they are protesting it. So the free access meant that almost any developer could access and leverage Reddit's vast pool of data to train fucking AI, to train artificial intelligence algorithms leveraged by the big tech firms such as Google, Microsoft, or OpenAI. And now I guess there's a lot of data on Reddit, which I guess there would be, right? All the user forums. I mean, this is where the fucking misinformation might come from.
Exactly, because like we use Reddit for fun purposes, right? Like,
exactly.
Like our next episode, which is going to be
a Patreon exclusive.
No, it's going to be
our next episode, guys, because I'm going to Italy next week. Sorry.
And it's going to be Am I the Asshole or something like that.
Yeah, we're going to do some kind of Reddit situation. You guys love the Reddit episodes. But I never thought it would be a place where you get a ton of data. But anyways, the Reddit corpus of data is really valuable, but we don't need to give all of that value to some of the largest companies in the world for free. So I guess that's what was maybe happening.
Yeah.
But I guess some of the popular communities on Reddit, which resulted in, so they had like a blackout because I guess they went private. I guess, again, you can, in a certain community, you can like turn it off or whatever.
Yeah. So, and that was their way.
So hopefully the Reddit forums that we want to go on won't be turned off.
When they say that this is becoming a trend now, so more tech firms are charging developers for back-end access. As the advertising market slows down. Well, I think it's pretty normal to charge for back end access. You know?
Do you charge for back end?
Of course, Rose. No one's using my back end for free. Okay.
How much it be?
I mean, like I said, my back end contains valuable data. Oh. I just can't.
Anyway.
I just can't today.
God, this episode it's going in directions I did not see coming.
Going in the back end.
So stop it.
I can't.
So I don't really understand. So I don't have an opinion. All I know is the back end is a very funny term.
Guys, I think what this article is saying is don't try to access the back end for free. Because if
you want the back end access, you got to pay for it.
You got to pay if you want the back end access.
Ain't nothing coming for free. Okay. That is some, exclusive access.
That is. So anyway, guys, today we learned about Rose's love for the cock sauce.
And the fact that Daniel charges for back end access.
For back end use.
For back end use.
Yes.
Maybe that's why you're single.
Oh, yeah. I'm single, but I got lots of clientele. Rose.
God. And on that positive note,
God damn,
my friends, I hope you enjoyed our PG-13 episode.
I think we're gonna up that one to PG-14, Rose.
No, Daniel, we only talked about very PG things such as cock sauce and back end.
Okay,
it's fine. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give I mean, depending on where you're listening, if you're watching this on YouTube, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on your favorite podcast platform. And of course, give us a little rating, 5 stars only. And once again, make sure you check out our Patreon. It is patreon.com/the SaVeg podcast. That is always linked in our show notes and description. And it starts as little as $3 a month. And what do they get, Daniel?
They get exclusive content. So we do an exclusive episode every single month. They get every episode ad-free, and also they get every episode a week earlier than the public. And there's like a nice little community there. You can chat with us. You can make suggestions. We also do announcements on there. So like, for example, when we announce the trip, they get, obviously as a part of the Patreon community, you would get, and
speaking of the trip, again, guys, make sure you sign up for Thailand or Bali or both. The links are down below, and hope to see you there.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting all flustered. I'm thinking of cock sauce.
You're thinking a little bit too much about the back end.
It's getting a little spicy. God damn.
Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks,
and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.